Mississippi, and I can show you some. And I tasted a lot of them. So any fruit, really any kind of fruit you're talking about, the secret to doing it successfully is knowing somebody to ask. Because I will tell you, when you go to Walmart, feed stores, or the nurseries, they do not have Mississippi varieties of fruit. They'll have the right blueberries. They carry the right blueberries. Sometimes some of the muscadines they carry will do here. Figs, if they have figs, will do. Not much else. Don't buy a Gold Delicious or a Yellow Delicious. You're wasting your time. So they're not made from Mississippi.
What sorts of heirloom apples?
Yeah. Now the ones I like are the ones that my friends or I have discovered on old homesteads, and they've been growing there 100, 150 years ago, probably from seedlings that are just accidentally there. Maybe 100 years ago, somebody recognized them and propagated them and grew them as their family tree. But that's what I'm talking about, and I can tell you some names, and you will not recognize them because it's half a dozen people at the most that know about this stuff. And that is what I promote. Is if you want to grow apples in Mississippi, that is what I promote. There is I'll tell you some names now. There's a Johnson Keeper apples from Jackson, Mississippi. Johnson Keeper. And they were grown before 1900 or so. They won awards at fairs all over the place. Great tasting apple. I ate some this year. But when we started shipping apples in from the Northeast and the Northwest, everybody stopped growing all these locally adapted varieties. Because it's cheaper to ship in Red Delicious and Gold Delicious. It's just that when you want to grow them yourself, those won't cut it in the heat and humidity of Mississippi. So you talk to people like me and Taylor, and we have buddies, we have connections, people that have actually discovered the old homestead apples. You got a Johnson Keeper from Mississippi, you got a Sebring apple from around Ludlow. Sebring, S-E-B-R-E-N. We usually name them after families. That's an excellent little tart apple. There's a Floyd Richmond apple from Carthage.
Richmond?
Floyd Richmond. That's the name of the guy who owns the property where that old apple is.
I'm from Alabama. You think these varieties would be well suited?
Yeah, Alabama and Mississippi is the same thing. One of my favorite apples is a shell apple from Alabama. There was actually, around 1900, there was a small shell apple industry. He shipped them up north. Shell is the most complex tasting little apple you can eat. It's sweet and tart and bitter and astringent, everything all at the same time.
How
and I grow shell organically for the last 3 years. I've actually had crops without spraying it. So shell is one of my best apples.
So you don't have much pest or disease?
There's plenty of them. Shell is one that stands out. Apples, if you're going to grow them without spraying, that's going to be hard, and not all of them will do. But that's why I kind of like the old heirlooms, because they've proven themselves. Mm-hmm. Just the fact that they're 100 years old proves that it can live and make fruit. One of my favorites that I want to really promote is a yellow Hamilton apple from Hamilton, Alabama. The Extension Service discovered that 20 or 30 years ago, and they kind of never really did anything for it, and I saw them and ate a bunch of yellow Hamilton apples last year, and we should be planting groves of yellow Hamilton all through Mississippi and Alabama. They should be there. It's a fantastic little apple.
How does that one taste?
It's kind of a blend. I like apple. Some people like sour ones. I like mine on the sweet side. This was more sweet than sour, but it was a nice blend. That's what you want, kind of a complex blend of sweet and tart and sour, all things. But yellow Hamilton is one that I'm saying we could grow. Collie apple from Grenada is somewhat well known, not well known, but a few people know about it. And you can buy them at half a dozen nurseries. But that's just an example. There's a couple dozen Mississippi and Alabama apples we can grow. I wouldn't really encourage anybody to grow apples commercially in Mississippi. There's a reason you don't see big apple groves in Mississippi.
Why is that?
You can just import them cheaper, Red Delicious from Washington and New York, really, and you'd be competing with them. Apples, pears will stand heat and humidity and clay and acid soil pretty well. Apples are just going to be harder to grow. If you're going to grow them without spraying, they're just going to be harder. There's some organic strategies you can use But I'm just telling you, apples, as compared to some other things, will be hard to do and make a profit on, I think. It usually takes them a while to bear. Muscadines and the Asian persimmons and a few things like that. I think Dr. Panicker is going to tell us some stuff. Those are things we recommend to plant commercially. Apples, I wouldn't tell anybody to put in 100 acres of apples, but if you got a homestead or a farm, you need a half-acre of apples. Mississippi and Alabama varieties apples, you need those growing. And there are some that will do.
So where do you get cuttings and seedlings of these?
People that have them already, we'll pass them around. Taylor and I are in a bunch of different fruit organizations. The Facebook, we have Facebook pages. It's dozens of them, and we're on all of them and talk to people like that. You essentially have to find somebody that knows. Now you know me. I will give you a business card, and I have a few of the trees out there for sale right now. If you have a tree or want to graft or know how to graft, I'll send you a sign for free. You pay the post. I'll send you a little piece of sign wood. You can graft it onto your old Red Delicious, and you can start making it bear real apples. I'll sell the trees. I'm starting to grow some to sell. And you look at what we have out there, you won't recognize any of the variety names, I don't think. But they're unknown Mississippi and Alabama, Georgia varieties.
It is hard to find
trees
like that in local garden centers throughout Mississippi too. They're mostly retail, may not have as much information about those varieties, but they're also your more mainstream varieties. And being able to see the selection that Larry and I have here today for sale kind of gives you an idea of what really you guys deserve to have a selection from. That's just hard to find.
I wish I had the apples here. November is late for most fruit, but we did some apple tastings this year from apples that I have, and I wish I could have one of those. Will knock your eyes out. We had tables full of apples nobody's ever heard of them. Some of them were delicious, some of them were just so-so, and, some of them were mealy. It's a lot to when they're picked. You had to pick them right. Red Delicious will store in a refrigerated warehouse for 2 years. And most of your heirlooms will not do that. So, they'll have like 1 or 2 weeks when they're really at the peak of ripeness. But some of them just knock your socks off. Taste. Red Delicious is not the apple taste. It ain't. They get way, way better than that.
And they get mealy and
Well, because if you can cut up more Red Delicious or Gold Delicious, and oftentimes the seed will be sprouting in there, that's the one that's been stored over a year. Now, a lot of in your heirloom apples, all of them aren't good eating apples. Some of them are only good for cooking, like a horse apple. Horse is sour. It's what we call a spitter, and you will spit it out when you pick one fresh off here. But when you cook it, you don't have to add extra sugar, and it loses all that bitterness and astringency. And it does when it dries. It's a July, which is early. It's a July drying apples. What a horse is, and people used to grow them all through that country. Through here for that reason.
And you can blend all these apples together in cider. That's kind of what gives cider its particular taste. It's not just juicing one apple, but kind of like Larry was saying, like your more tart and bitter ones, you can press those with your more even typical fresh eating to get that diversity that really a lot of cider makers go for. And that's kind of the key to a good cider, from what I've learned at least, is blending different varieties, not just one.
There's so much to it. I'm not pressing cider in probably years for I will, but generally if you have a small sour crab apple, really an inedible apple almost, that's what they make cider out of. The sweet, they don't use the big sweet ones. I really concentrate on fruit that you can pluck right off the tree and eat mostly. I like the sweet eating fruit, but it's all different fields of apples. That's mainly what I want to tell you. If you determine to grow apples in Mississippi, you can, but it's really all about the variety. You need to find the most local variety that's growing naturally to you that you can.
Are there any crab apples around that get big enough to, that you could use?
Yates crab apple from North Georgia is the most common one. There's not really a difference between a crab apple and an apple. They're all apples. It's the same genus and species. Well, unless it ain't. But there's a few different species, but not many in North. I don't think you see any native apples in Mississippi, or I have. But Crab apple, if it's under 2 inches, we call it a crab apple, just because that's anything bigger than that, we call that. But there's no difference. Most of your small ones, if it's grown up from seed, it will usually be small, what we call a crab apple, and it will usually be sour. But every now and then, one will come up and be sweet, like the Yates. Yates is a little apple. I have some on the table out there, I'll show you. Yates is a little apple like that, but it's a good sweet apple.
Another good crab is the Hughes crab. I tasted that with Larry this year. That is the best crab apple.
Hughes.
It's a fruit within itself.
You don't know what to think about it. You take a bite of a Hughes, and it's sweet, and it's sour, and it's ascorbic, and it's acid, and it's tannic, all at the same time.
You can eat the whole
and you just
thing,
don't know
too.
what to think about
And
it.
it's just small. You can carry a sack full around.
And it's more tannic and acid than it is sweet, but it's just interesting.
It's balanced.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. I am Dr. Panicker, Girish Panicker from Alcorn State University. I was informed last night by Mr. Daniel that somebody is not around today to present. So I just came to fill that slot, okay? I earned my Ph.D. in horticulture at Mississippi State University, and my dissertation work was on blueberry. I'm a very lucky person. Very lucky because, not only that, because of that, because you people educated me. I did not pay any fees, not even $1. So you people educated me to your PhD in blueberry, the most expensive fruit in the nation. The second highest content antioxidants next to blackberries. And 1 pound $10, that is 1 kilogram, $22. If you put another $10, you can buy 1 gram of gold. And blueberry is a very expensive. One of the reasons is it prevents urinary infection in ladies. There are 108,000 Americans are waiting for kidneys now. So this is one reason. Another thing, and the US is the biggest producer, US is the biggest importer, US is the biggest exporter. So that is the only food that enjoys that benefits, no other food in the world. And here the method I applied is your great grandparents, my great grandparents. That is what the paper I gave you. That the first research came out now, the USDA is duty now. That is, they just started last 2 weeks ago. So this is the first research in the nation, in the world, that we could increase the vitamin C content of blueberries by applying organic materials. What our great grandparents used before 1930s, before the discovery of chemical fertilizers, pesticides, weedicides, nematicides, fungicides. There was no chemical factory nowhere in the world. So they used animal waste and plant waste. These are the two greatest gifts of nature. But we are not using that very effectively. Even the plant waste we throw away. I will show you the slide. The EPA says Americans throw away 24 million tons of dried leaves in the spring season. But our great grandparents never threw it. They use it for composting or they for mulching. So I use the same method on blueberries. I want to make sure that I wanted to try my level best to see whether I can increase. I increased the anthocyanins and flavonoids, but the vitamin C was still not going higher and higher. It was a little high, but according to the statisticians, it should be significant. Otherwise, they'll say, no, you cannot publish. But now this one, you can see it is 83% more vitamin C than the regular blueberry on the market. So if you apply the same method, your blueberry is going to be number one in the nation. And you can sell saying that my blueberry is I added value through organic method, not biotechnology method. So that makes a difference.
And worm castings are
Worm
great.
casting. Yeah, worm casting. You can just imagine, we throw away the garbage. It goes to the landfills. But that garbage is the one good for making worm casting.
Feed them to the worms.
Yeah, the procedure is good on the internet. I have not
Worm
produced.
farm.
Yeah, but I have been buying the worm casting, it succeeded. We have muscadine grapes. We used to harvest 3,500. In 2010, we got just 2 pounds. Just 2 pounds. All of a sudden, the muscadine started producing crop fruits. So people say there is no climate change. But when I saw this, that is the first time I saw climate change in my life. 3,500 pounds we used to harvest every year. We have been doing it. In 2010, it came with a lot of fruits. 10 fruits start falling. Then the roots started coming up.
Yeah.
So we don't know what happened. So it happened. So I just brought the real picture. I didn't put it on the website because I don't want to scare farmers. Because muscadine is a very expensive fruit, almost $4 per pound, and it prevents breast cancer in ladies. And more than 40,000 ladies get killed in this country alone because of breast cancer. And muscadine prevents. So these two, the muscadine and blueberry, both fruits are ladies' fruits. So this program I started with USDA long ago, in 1989, and this is animal and forest waste in organic production. And there are regulations. If the edible portion is touching the ground, like vegetables and strawberries, you have to apply the animal waste 120 days before the harvest. If the edible portion is not touching the ground, we can apply 90 days before the harvest. This is the federal regulation. So following this regulation, you can apply it. But when you apply on vegetable crops, be very careful because there is chance it can go to the neighbor's plot, they may see you and all the problem. But if you are on fruit crops, so I am specialized on fruits. I wanted to encourage farmers to, especially Mississippi. You see, Mississippi's land is like this undulating surface. That is the reason why Mississippi is number one in forests. Because forests like slopey lands, the water will drain out. So that is the land for peaches, plum, nectarine, muscadine, blueberry, all crops. But unfortunately, the FSA, Farm Service Agency, never gives loan for farmers. I talked to the director in Washington DC. He said they give loan for all crops, even animals, but they will not give loan for fruits and nuts because there is no regulation in the nation. So when food policy comes, we have to push for that. I already wrote to the senators and everywhere. So we have to make sure that this is going to be implemented because Mississippi can become number one in fruit production. We have favorable climate. The land is like this. It's not flat lands, and we can. I introduced the turmeric also. Today I have a presentation at the panel at 2 o'clock. I'm one of the panelists in that section for the our farms, our soil, and our bodies. And I teach fruit science also in Alcorn State University, and I teach horticultural crops and agronomic crops. And I introduced turmeric recently, not recently, 5 years now. So I gave turmeric plants to more than 600 farmers so far. I released more than 5,000 flyers, and I will bring the turmeric tuber rhizome this afternoon. So, and this is the way you have to apply, you have to apply animal make basin around the plant for fruit trees. Then instead you can put the manure. Then over the manure you apply the lime, calcium carbonate. The carbonate that kills bacteria inside. So that paper is published by Cornell University and another university in Canada, saying that application of lime over the manure, it kills bacteria. Then over that.
Question, real quick. The lime, is that safe for animals outside that might be around your trees?
No, we are going to mulch. See?
Oh, okay, sorry.
See, that is step by step.
Okay.
So when I showed you the lab, this is the first step, the next step, mulching. The forest waste. We are not using it. We are number one in forest, number one in catfish production, number one in chicken production. So we are number one in forest. We don't have to buy pine needle. You can, even the neighbor doesn't want. When the pine needle falls on the ground, it is going to kill the grass. So he doesn't want that. Because pine needle makes the soil acidic. And blueberry likes the most useless soil, the most acidic soil. So blueberry comes out very well. So the natural method of making acid is pine needle, not buying sulfur. You don't have to waste money. And muscadine, we apply the same mulch. If you apply for muscadine, peach, a plum, or any other apple, or any the pine needle, keep the pine needle there. Start falling now in October, November, December. So before Christmas, collect it and keep it in a corner of your yard. Don't use it. If you are applying for any other, the pH, the pine needle when it falls, the pH is usually 3.6 below 4, very acidic. And if you keep it in a corner, during the spring and fall season, we have more rain. During the rainy season, the weathering will take over the acidity, and that weathered pine needle you can apply for muscadine, or peach, or plum, or apples. And we have Royal Gila apple, the best apple in the world, from New Zealand. I will show you the picture. It releases a lot. And this is one problem we are having worried about antibiotics, animal waste. So now the latest news released in May 2016, this year, by the American Society of Agronomy, that is from the Environmental Quality. The Environmental Quality Journal says, when you compost, make the composting continue for minimum 30 days. If you compost more than 30 days, the problem can be taken out. So people used to compost and take it out within 2 weeks, they will say very good. No, because that is going to give trouble. That has to give trouble for antibiotics. So this is a letter, you can note down the reference if you want. It is the Environmental Quality Journal, 2016, volume 45, the article is there. So this is going, so whenever you make compost with any animal waste, make sure that you will compost continuously for more than 30 days.
Is that specifically that Ivermax that they use for worming? Will that go away in 30 days?
No, but the worm casting is not mentioned there. They mentioned about the poultry manure, sheep manure, goat manure, all kinds of manures. But I saw the article, I read the article, but nothing is mentioned about the worm castings. The worm casting is a specialty. I know among all the castings of the cow manure or sheep manure, worm casting is only manure, it contains 5% calcium. That is the trick played by the worm castings, I know. And the worm casting, the regular worms, the earthworms are called I'm from India. In India they call it friends of farmers. So that is one created this research, you know. So then the national organic weed problem. Weeding is a problem. Monsanto is spraying Roundup. The World Health Organization, Geneva, said you are going to get cancer. Monsanto said no, but we can avoid this problem by synthetic mulch. So the organic committee, they amended this program. Formerly it was a thin mulch. Now we can buy the thick synthetic mulch. We can use for every 8 years. They say 78 years. We are using it.
Doesn't the plastic or synthetic mulch leach?
Here, I'm going to show you the regulation. The regulation says you have to take it out immediately after your harvest. You mulch it. I'm going to show you how it is done. So after your so just to see on the presentation.
Well, I had the same question.
Yeah, that's the one coming. That's the question. That is the reason why. That is the reason why people are not using, because plastic contains chlorine. When you have the drinking water, you keep in the car in the hot sun. You go back and take it and drink it. It is a different state. The chlorine has gone inside. That gives problem to teenage girls. So don't keep the drinking water inside the car, because chlorine goes inside. The same chlorine is there in the plastic things. So, but the organic committee says, what you do, you have to take it out immediately after the harvest. Now, the federal government, they were expecting 28 billion organic, but it has gone to 43 billion now. This is the latest news raised this year. The organic is growing very fast. One problem is, the number of organic farmers are high, but the number of farmers certified is low. People are not going for certification, but they are getting items sold out. How? I don't know. So the data shows, the NRCS put the data on the website, they release every 10 days, 2007, 2017 is coming. So 2007 data shows the organic farmers number is going higher and higher. They are selling their produce, but the number of farmers getting certified is going down. That means they are not certified, they are selling. I don't know about that explanation. And when you come to the last column, you can see the CM ratio, the carbon to nitrogen ratio. When you do the mulching of any crop, make sure that the mulch contains a lot of carbon. And most of the vegetable crops, the CM ratio is very, very low. In case of muscadine, it is over 60. If it is over 30, it is not going to decompose fast. If it is below that, it will decompose very fast. And I recently got $500,000 from USDA, where it is easy to get money when you write proposal. And I have Ph.D. in horticulture, and I use the word obesity. I get the money. So no problem. So I got the money. So we introduced 103 varieties of melons. Now I have another proposal now, $500,000, to introduce 192 varieties of watermelons from around the globe. So these all came from different countries. So we analyzed for antioxidants, minerals, and vitamins. And we selected out, we analyzed the poultry cow manure, composted cow manure. Because people are afraid of fresh manure, forget about it. Use the composted cow manure and the composted poultry manure. Then these are the vegetables we are recommending, especially the broccoli. Broccoli is the best and the best vegetables in the world. And Americans consume broccoli the best way possible. In many countries, broccoli is cooked, so it is gone. If you cook anything above 80 degrees, gone. You are paying money, bringing home and cooking and destroying the whole thing. But broccoli you can eat. Americans dip in the cheese and eat. But make sure that the cheese has no cholesterol. Because each dip, you are getting 1 drop of cholesterol. So make sure that. Because that's the best mother I noticed. Same thing, coleslaw, cabbage. The cabbage is consumed very nicely in this country. I have been in 25 countries. But the cabbage, the coleslaw is very good one. The same thing, coleslaw, the gravy. Make sure it has no cholesterol. And because these are the sulfur-based vegetables, antioxidants, they prevent cancer. They prevent cancer. That is the reason. I had a problem. My cat had cancer. The doctor told me your cat will die within 6 months. The cat used to sleep near my leg, right leg. Doesn't go even to my wife, always with me. And she came from somewhere, so I have been feeding her. So the doctor told me, so I have been advising people eat this, that, so many things. Then when my cat had a problem, until that day I was the doctor of plants. That day I became the doctor of cats. So I do all kinds of extracts, including turmeric. I used turmeric. I'm from India. India means 83% of the turmeric production. I use the turmeric, ginger, garlic, vitamin E, B6, folic acid. So those all. And then I put some fish oil. So all these mix. I have mixed up items, extracts, and I have been feeding my cat. The stomach was so big like a balloon. So my wife was crying, and so it was a terrible day. Coming back from the animal hospital. Oh, my wife is crying in the car. And the cat is crying in the pet taxi. I wish so, but anyway, I tried. After 1 year, I took the cat back to the same doctor who told me to die. After 6 months, the stomach began like a tennis ball. So yeah, what happened? What did you do? I said, I am doing the same thing which I am telling you to eat. So I gave the same thing to the cat. He said, what is that? I said, I cannot tell you now. So now 6 years passed. My cat is alive. Nothing happened. But she has something here like a small capsule. When I saw the first X-ray, there were hundreds of capsules in the body. It was swollen. So the doctor told me to die. The doctor is she's a graduate from veterinary hospital, a veterinary college from Mississippi. So I am also from Mississippi State. She told me your cat will die 6 months. But my cat is still alive, 6 years past. So that shows that the one we are talking about, broccoli and so many things, ginger, garlic, it works. It works. And the turmeric is consumed. It is recommended to cancer patients in Anderson Cancer Center, Houston, Texas. My neighbor had cancer. I talked to him. I told him start taking turmeric capsule. He refused. He didn't believe me. When he went for treatment, he came back and called me immediately. No, I was there in Anderson Cancer Center. From the first day, they were giving me turmeric capsule. Yeah, so the broccoli, some of the crops, they don't accept the manures. So this is the poultry manure, the broccoli responds very well. It gives very high yield. And that is one method we want all of you to follow. This is the best method you can use it. According to the paper published by the Agronomy Society now, application of animal waste inside the soil, even after 7 years they tested, they found that the animal waste is still there, the animal waste. The manure is still there. So that the reference is coming. So that is the great part of it. The reason is, pollution is a big problem. People are dying all over. Last year in America, 560,000 people died. 560,000. Including over 40,000 ladies. Cancer alone killed. That is more than the total number of US Army got killed in the Second World War. Second World War only 440,000. This is 560,000, a large number. When out of 100,000 people, only 26 people die in India because of cancer. The same 100,000 people, 150 plus people die here. When one Indian dies, 6 Americans die here. So we had to stop it. So I said, horticulturist, I have a duty to talk. When I use the word, different words, blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, please don't get hurt, because I want to tell the truth. I am here to help the community, because I am over 60 years old. I don't look 60 years. That is my vegetable fruit, my food. And my blood pressure is always below 120. My daughter used to ask me, what do you eat? Are you vegetarian? I said, no, I am not. I am not vegetarian. I eat everything. But I know within 10 minutes I can take out the cholesterol and the fat. I take it out. I even advise my students. One student had over 500 triglycerides. So he told me, Doc, I said you were talking about blood pressure. I have triglycerides over 500. Doctor told me I will collapse anytime. I said, can you follow me what I said? Yes. It was the January, spring season. So I gave him what to do. And after he used to come to the class, I know he came from Iraq. He was in the army. In May he didn't come to write the exam. I had to submit the grade. The previous day he came. He wrote the exam. Then he said, Doc, I want to hug you. I said, for what? He said, let me go to the car. He brought his blood test. Showed me his triglyceride had gone down from 500 below 200. So it's a simple method. So we can, any food any company is making, especially when it comes to fresh meat, we can take out the cholesterol and the fat within 10 minutes in our kitchen. Then you use canola oil, only 5% better, or any oil, you cook it, they have the same taste. So we can do that method. I'm not showing that one here. So put the manure inside. You see, it is 9, you can use a post-hole digger, put it inside, and the flag is standing there, and there we are going to put the seed. And here comes the mulch, the synthetic mulch. And you put a flag there, when you are unrolling the mulch, you know where the hole was there. So you can put the seed there, the seeds, so they grow, and you say, look at this. It's covered, gradually. And we got melons from different countries. And we tested all of them, and we selected the best 15 varieties. And we analyzed for antioxidants, minerals, and vitamins. And this guy is from Russia. And this is my lab, so we have been testing the total soluble solids. And we selected 15 varieties. The second one is a French variety, Charentais. I don't know how to pronounce, it's a French word. Charentais, C-H-A-R-E-N-T-A-S. So this variety, I have the seed here today. I am giving the seed after my presentation at 2 o'clock. So I have brought the seeds, the best 2 varieties. One is Charentais and the Pride of Wisconsin. The best melon in the US is Pride of Wisconsin. I have the seeds. Pride of Wisconsin, last one. The last. That is Pride of Wisconsin. But the fruit is very big. It looks like cantaloupe, but it weighs almost 8 pounds.
Wow.
See, these are the cantaloupe. You get the Pride of Wisconsin and the Charentais. Charentais is small green, you can see. but challenge is more seeds, it has more sugar. And both, you can't cut like cantaloupe. You wash it, put it on your dinner plate and cut it, start leaking. You can eat with a spoon. You get muskmelon. It's not cantaloupe, muskmelon. This is, look at the weight. The weight is there, 3,500 grams. That is 3.5 kilograms. 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. It's almost 8 pounds, one fruit. This is the cantaloupe.
Wow.
So this is the product Wisconsin. These are the challenge. So I have the varieties, seeds of both the varieties today. I'm going to buy immediately. That's why I want to present early. I had to go and get that turmeric rhizome for it. And this is a no-till method. Even if somebody is in your home 80, 90, 100 years old, they can do this method very simple. What they need is a small sprayer. So this is not organic. We are using the Monsanto's Roundup. So I'm going to change it this year. I told my staff, I'm going to make another plot, put in the organic manure inside, because we succeeded so far. This is the only plot I have inorganic. I established plot to try to see people in America, they are in subdivision. Subdivision, if you bring a tractor, they will complain. But if you do something like this, nobody is going to see what you are doing. And what you have to see, look at this. Make a small hole like that. Put the fertilizer inside, NPK, and cover it up with some soil, and drop the seedling. If it is a seed corn. Look at the size of seed corn. So nobody will come to know what you are doing. There is no sound in our neighbor cannot complain. And the no-till method works for many crops. And this is a heritage winter cover. In fall season we have only rain here. Most people don't do. So we put this month, now it is late. It's supposed to be in October, the heritage. The legume fixed out of nitrogen. Then this is China berry. You all have in your backyard, you are not using it. China berry contains a poisonous material called Mary azar-rest. Azar-rest, the poisonous material. So it is not recommended to use on edible plants. But if your deer is coming and eating up, creating trouble to your peach or trumpy, your any fruit tree on the bark, eating or doing something with the horn or anything, they will not touch your trees. If you take the China berry seed, you blend it, buy a cheap blender, $15 from Walmart. You blend it, you get a solution, put it in the bucket, mix it with the water, and filter it using your bathroom towel. You get a clean, light green solution. You spray it on your ornamental plants, you can use it, the deer will not eat.
Really?
It's a repellent. The China berry plenty in the US, nobody is using it, and especially misses it. So it is a very, you take one leaf and bite, you can see it's very, very, very bitter. It has a very nasty taste.
Will it last after it rains?
Yes.
No, yeah, that's a good question. So what you do is, the spring and fall we have more rain, so you have to add 1 or 2 drops of your soap. Your dishwashing any soap, just 1 or 2 drops, then mix it. Then when the rain comes, slip out. Okay. But if you are not putting, again you have to spray again, as you said. When the rain comes, it will get washed out. But an ornamental plant, the deer will come and eat. So this is the best method. The ornamental plant, we are not going to eat it.
Right.
So we can keep it. No, that's it.
Can you spray it on vegetables as well?
No, it's not recommended. We are going to consume.
Only fruit.
Yeah, it's not recommended. Because so far,
That's all fruit?
it is not on fruit trees. You know, the fall season, you see the deer come and they do a lot of mistake, climbing and standing on the tree. So all these things. So they will not touch the plant. Because of this bad smell, they know it is a nasty thing. So, but there is a sister plant here, it's called Azadirachta indica, neem tree. The US is importing from India.
A neem?
The neem cake, neem powder, all coming from India.
Yeah.
So these two are sisters. That is the Azadirachta indica, this is Melia indica. The Melia Azadirachta. This crop is originated, this fruit tree, this tree is originated here in the US. But it is not used. It is not used. The other tree in India, especially when you go to Africa, you can see people don't buy the toothbrush. They use the small branch of that one. They take a small branch of that one, they brush the teeth, and you can see that. They take a small branch like this, they cut it and they chew it and keep it. So they go on brushing with that one. And if you do the African teeth in Africa, there is no dentist there. I was in a town, there was only one Indian dentist. So I met him in a party, I asked him, he said, I don't get any patience. I said, why? He said, these Africans, their teeth are very strong. The cigarette is that one, the tree, and that tree is here, the sister tree.
Will the China berry keep goats and cattle off of fruit trees?
You know, but about fruit trees, I don't know, I cannot, but you know, you have this one? Do you have this tree?
I do China berry.
Yeah, what is your question?
Sorry?
Your question?
Yeah.
What is your question?
My question is, if you spray
On the fruit?
on the fruit trees, will it not only keep the deer off, but also the cattle and the goats?
Okay, anywhere you spray, the cattle will not eat, the goat will not eat, nothing will eat. Because it has a very bad spray.
Nothing will.
Nothing will eat. No, they cannot eat. Because when you eat the leaf, you can see it has a very bad taste.
Okay.
But this is used, the leaf is used in Africa. In Africa, when they get malaria, they don't buy malaria tablets. When I was in Africa, I worked in Africa for a year. I used to take Sunday pills every 1 week. One is in a week. They told me it will affect my eyes. I was scared. But I was home for a year. There is no other way I had to eat. But the Africans, they don't take any malaria tablets. They take the leaf of this, make a tea, they drink it. It takes out malaria. Yeah. But not this one, the other one. The other sister plant is called Azorista indica. The seed is available here in the US.
That's the name, right?
Yeah, that one, the neem tree.
Yeah.
The neem tree leaf you can plant, but in a big pot and keep it inside the house. The winter time it will get killed. So that neem, if you boil, it's like a solution like tea, very strong, but people consume there. So they don't get, the malaria comes, they do it, and gone. They don't buy any capsules or tablets. There are plants, the plants are the gift of God. So this one I want to show you, this is the method we applied. So you can do this method, increase the vitamin C of the blueberries, and you can get a higher price. Nobody is going to question you. And if you want to get it tested, you can get to, even my samples are tested in our lab now. Normally we are not testing, we used to send other labs, but we are not testing samples from outside. The fruit testing in Missouri State charges very heavy. One sample they charge $50 for testing. For soil testing only $9. The fruit testing $50, 50. So, but if you can get it tested for $50 and then you put a label, your blueberry vitamin C is this high, people will ask how you did it. You did it like this. So you make a hole, a trench, and inside the trench, you put the pine bark inside and roll it up.
Pine bark?
Yeah, pine bark inside. It is outside also. Pine bark.
Just bark, can you use needles also?
No, the pine bark. The bark rhino.
Yeah.
Yeah, they the pine bark, put it inside the hole, inside the trench.
Yes.
And the trench to be at least 1 foot deep. Then we can put the soil bag, use the tiller inside, till it very well, then roll it up. After rolling up, again you are putting pine bark over that. Then you are putting the pine needle.
Okay. Okay.
You plant the pine,
Yeah.
the blueberries, they love it. Because pine bark makes soil acidic, this makes soil acidic,
Yes.
and grows well, growing, broadcasting. So this is Dr. James Pierce, Director of Thought Program Center. So he has been working with me. He told me that blueberry is not cultivated in the United States. In a heavy soil, the land is flat. And my land was flat. So I called him to even authority in blueberry research. Now he retired. Now I am the only person in Mississippi who did his dissertation work on blueberries.
So you don't wait a year to let the pine bark decompose, you plant it immediately?
We immediately, same day we plant everything, immediately we plant the same. But don't put any fertilizer, no other manure, nothing.
No worm?
We are no worm casting, nothing. We are not putting anything. We are not putting even worm casting. That is any tree. Each plum, any tree when we plant. It is recommended not to put any manure or fertilizer same year. Especially fertilizers, NPK. You can put manure, no problem. That is our great grandparents' method, it will work. But people chemical fertilizers in a new plant, they know better than me. So you can kill the tree. So trees are recommended. The fertilizer is recommended only after a year. That is what my professor, Dr. Mata, the state pomologist, he told me. Never put any fertilizer to any tree when you are planting the first year. Wait for 1 year. Next year you use. So this is the. So Dr. J. Spears was working with me, and we are the first people in the nation, maybe in the whole world. Dr. J. Spears and me, we could raise blueberries in the heavy soil. The same method we applied. We put the pine bark inside, we tried different methods. So that method works. So we became the first in the nation to raise blueberries on heavy soil on a flat land. Why? Because blueberry has no root hairs. All plants have root hairs, they take to the root hairs. Because they have no root hairs, the blueberry cannot take nutrients. Blueberries, cranberries and bilberries, they are sisters. They cannot take nutrients, they have no root hairs. They are helped by mycorrhizae, a fungus. The fungus comes there and help the blueberry. That is a symbiotic relationship. The mycorrhizae take the nutrients and give to the blueberry. And blueberry prepare the food, photosynthesis, and send the food from the kitchen to the grocery store from where it came. So that is a symbiotic relationship. The mycorrhizae works. So in a flat land, when the heavy rain comes, it is flooded and mycorrhizae die. When the mycorrhizae die, the blueberry dies. That is what happens. So that is the reason why. Now the blueberry produces a lot. You get me 15 pounds per plant. You can have 726 plants per acre. We plant this spacing of 10 times 6. The 10 feet between rows on 6 feet between plants. And this is one method I want to teach you. Because the US fruit trees are very dangerous.
Quick question on the blueberries. Once you have planted them in the pine bark soil mix, when do you, I mean, do you have
Put it
to
again.
amend it
Again,
again,
yeah, we have to put
like
it
3
again.
or 4 years later?
Yeah,
or-
we have to put it again, there's a table, if you can, my email is there, you can email me, you can send you the table for that, okay? So I can send you the email. Gradually you have to bring it down the quantity. Gradually you can
Okay.
bring down the quantity. You don't have to apply same quantity every year.
Okay.
Only first year it is little expensive because still the pine bar 40 pounds is a $2.50, very cheap. Very cheap. Like lime juice. Lime juice and lemon, one lemon is 42 cents, one lemon. But one bottle of lime juice is only less than $3 in the year. I'm surprised. So in India, we don't use vinegar. We use the lime juice for making pickles. Take the hot pepper, chop it, put it in the bottle, sterilized bottle, put lime juice and lemon juice, salt and keep it outside, ready. Any pickle you eat, any fruit you are eating, like tomato or any fruit, when you are eating, you are getting the nutrients. But you make a paste and keep it for 1 or 2 months, you get more nutrients. It is called bioactivity. So our great-grandparents' pickle had more nutrients than what you are eating the fresh one. People think that if you eat fresh, you get more. No, it's wrong. So that's the tomato paste, even salsa, all this. So this is one method we are teaching. The reason is, in America, fruit trees are very expensive. You know, for 1 acre, the farmer needs 143 trees, most of the trees. And one tree costs almost $30 something. That is $4,500 only for the planting materials. So farmers are not there. So fruit industry is an industry going on the years. It is an inherited business on inherited properties. That is what I noticed. Because my professor took me around. I've been to so many farms. I asked them, they said their grandparents were doing the business. But people who are economically weak, they cannot get into the fruit business because fruit trees are expensive. So we are training farmers how to make their own plant. Buy 1 or 2 trees. Because most of the trees, they need 2 varieties. 2 varieties, and both the varieties should flower same time. When you buy peach or plum or anything, make sure that they are going to flower same time. They need pollination. So buy 2 varieties, then you can do that. These guys are expert in budding and grafting, everything classic. You know, I'm sorry I couldn't get you. I want your help one day for my people there. So he is expert making budding, grafting, layering. I'm expert in the air layering method. This is a simple method we use in India. So that helped India to become the first country in the world in green revolution. And fruits are plenty there. India is number 2 in fruit production. America number 3 now. Farmer is 12 number American. Now American companies are selling more fruits than ever before because Americans are not buying, not intentionally. They cannot buy expensive. Blueberry $10 who would buy? Muscadine and persimmon. I am going to show you persimmon. It will hold the cholesterol. The cholesterol will not go to the body. That is the secret of Japanese and Chinese people. It is pectin. Persimmon, 1 pound, $5.50 in Kroger. So we are selling, even today I sell in Alcorn, we are selling for $1. I brought the persimmon fruit also, okay? I bought the persimmon fruit for you to be there after 3 o'clock presentation. So take a wine, look at this, and remove the skin, almost 1.5 inch distance. Remove the skin outside, until you see the green color. Don't go deep. If you go deep, you'll see the white color of the wood. So go up to there. So because we have 2 vessels. The arteries and veins. The arteries carry the pure blood, the vein carry impure blood. Right. The plants are the same thing. God gave the same thing to the plants. The plants take through one vein to the top, silent. And after preparing the food in the leaf, they send back to the phloem. So when you remove outside, you are removing one portion. When the food is prepared, the food is coming back. You remove the outer portion, the food cannot go to the roots. Right. So that area it starts producing roots. Like this. So clean it. It is still on the plant. Make a Ziploc bag for $2. You can get more than 100 Ziploc bags. And cut on both sides. See? And go inside, insert it. It is still on the plant, mother plant. Then tie one side. Make sure it is near the nod, okay? Near the nod. It is from the nod they are going to put it. Then peat moss, the best organic material. Mix it, and when you squeeze it, make sure that it is not dripping too much water. First we are going with the, inorganic on the promise. You can see some pellets there. The promise is not good for the organic side. So buy the peat moss when you buy it, okay? So these are the promise. You can see the promise pellets. That shows it is inorganic, not organic. So, but the organic one, we notice the organic one succeeds more than 90%. Within the organic and the inorganic, the peat moss and the promise. The peat moss produced more than 90 plants came to the roots. But the promise, not completely failed. It also produced a lot. But the peat moss is the best one. And then fill it. This is the peat moss. Look at the peat moss. There is no pellet there. Fill inside. Then the other side also. Squeeze it and make sure you take all the oxygen air out. There's not air inside. Then when the sun hits, the air will become very hot. It will burn the roots.
Yeah.
So squeeze it very well. Then
tied on both sides to be like this. See? Still on the mother plant. You hang it there. We got a lot of visitors coming. So we so far trained more than 600 farmers. So it's the best method of establishing nurseries on your backyard. See, after 45 days, you can see the roots coming out.
Yeah.
What time of year are you starting this?
We have the training program in June, last Thursday of June, every year. Last Thursday of June, you come there, just drive and come, don't bring anything, we'll give you food, everything free. So we'll train you 4 hours, you have to stand in the hot sun. So come with a big hat or something.
Okay.
That's the only thing you have to bring, a hat. So we have snacks and soft drinks, everything for you.
Just letting you know, we have about a minute left.
Oh, sorry.
In our
Okay.
session.
Yeah, this one, so the roots will look at.
No.
Yeah, you can have a nursery, you can have cuttings, but cuttings will not produce much. 100 cuttings will give only 40 plants. The airlining will go more. We train people, and the pruning should be done in the month of February, first week, not the last week, before the heat, warm season comes.
Yeah.
When you cut, when it is dripping, stop it. Because if you drip, that means you are losing all the nutrients. You are not going to get fruits that year. And this is another method from the vine. You can make wreath. This wreath is very expensive in the market. You can make 4,000 wreath from 1 acre of land. Muscadine and healthy food. And this is the cocoyam we introduced. Cocoyam, I have a fire. Cocoyam is a good vegetable, leaf, stalk, root, everything vegetable. And the turmeric, this is turmeric plant. I have a turmeric plant in my car. I'll bring it. I'll bring the car plant in the afternoon here. And turmeric has so many medicinal properties. It protects liver. People are losing liver, so it protects liver. And prostate cancer is very common in the US, but it's very uncommon in India because of the curry. They use the turmeric is used everywhere. The prostate cancer is not common in India. So when doctor told me so one day you wanted to, I said, I'm from India, I don't know that, you don't know that, what is the reason? He said, I know, but still, when you are here. I said, I crave the turmeric every day. So this is the tuber of the cocoyam, little potato.
That was an elephant ear, right?
No, elephant ear is a common English name. Elephant is because the leaf is the shape of the
Is it the
elephant.
same plant?
So you're
This
It's not the same plant, that is not edible.
It is not?
Almost not edible. Don't buy the elephant ear.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, they got plenty of those elephant ears
Don't buy the
around.
elephant ear from Walmart. It is inedible.
I have plenty of those.
You buy the tube of this one, you can get it cheap rate from Indian grocery stores.
Okay.
1 pound is $3 or $4. The turmeric gone high. My farmers, we are going and buying turmeric. Formerly it was only $3, $4. Now it is $8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we apply this, but this is one area we need help. So this is one area we need help. This is an American student, my student. This is another American student. This is another American student. So this is one area. Americans are not there, agronomy area. And this is the area, the salary is the highest. These students, when they graduate from Alcorn or Mississippi State University, any university, they are 24 years old. They have a master's degree in agronomy. Do you know their starting salary now?
24,000.
Not very much. I imagine it's probably not.
Their
very
starting
much.
salary $56,000, 56, more than the salary of an assistant professor all over the nation. But Americans are not there. So when we are eating breakfast, lunch and dinner, we are eating somebody's food, we are not producing, you know. So we need help. If you are sending your nephews or son, the long bean, I have the seeds of this, 18 inches long. I brought the seed for you, the long beans, and the seed is plenty, I have plenty. And this is
Holy moly.
this is another vegetable.
What
And
is
in
that?
Mexico they use it, this is called the bottle gourd. Yeah, this is a vegetable like squash. You can remove the skin and cook it. But in Mexico, they take the whole thing out, they dry, they fill it with wine to drink, bar, the liquor. So this is ready to go. This is another same squash, remove the skin. Then this is a snake gourd. I don't have the seed of this. Yeah, you see, it produces plenty. It's very tasty. It's in high demand. This snake gourd, same thing, different variety. This is bitter gourd. It contains the peptide P, it's an insulin, plant insulin in one plant. This is the one for diabetic patients. So this one seed is gone always. Everybody call me and calls me for the seeds of this bitter gourd. The bitter gourd has an insulin, peptide P, the plant insulin prevents.
How do you process it? Do you just eat it raw?
No, it's very bitter. You have to cook it like the way you cook squash or anything. Because it is so bitter, what you have to do is you have to mix with the lime juice or lemon juice. And keep it outside for 2-3 months. And with the salt, then you can eat with the sandwich. For diabetic patients, this is the most widely consumed vegetable in Asian countries. For diabetic patients, they use the bitter gourd. And this is another medicinal one, the hot pepper, we chop it as I told you, mix with the lime juice or lemon juice, salt, keep it outside, not inside the fridge. And it will take out. And then we train people how to make their own turmeric salad dressing. Instead of buying. So stop buying salad dressing. Buy yogurt. Yogurt has the bacteria, lactobacterial cocaine, that is energy to the human body. Then put turmeric inside and salt. your salad dressing is ready within 1 minute.
Yeah.
And keep it in the refrigerator. And once you taste it, use it. You are becoming more healthy, children have resistance. Now people have immunity problem, so it will take out all the problems. So this is the best salad dressing. This is the most widely used salad dressing in the Southeast Asia, in the Indian subcontinent.
How much salt? What is the rate? What is it?
Little, as much as you want.
Yeah,
Depending on the taste.
Depending upon, that's what I think.
Yeah, depending upon your taste. And these are oats, we have the oatmeal, and the plantain plenty coming there. Americans are not buying. The buying people are usually Spanish and Indians, and especially people from Africa, they buy it. And this one is more carbohydrate, but this one, let it right like this. Then you chop it, and the oatmeal you can cook in 1 minute with the milk. Chop it and put it. The best breakfast, and you will not be hungry like other breakfasts. If you take the kilo breakfast after 2 hours, you will be hungry. So this one you won't be hungry. So the best breakfast. So I just want to show you this, some of the propagation. When you buy pineapple, don't throw it away. Put in a pot. When the winter season, keep it inside. After 18 months, we can harvest one pineapple. And next summer, put it outside. So yeah, because I don't want to show all this. And this is the Royal Gala apple. It produces a lot. By this one, Royal Gala is the best apple in the world. It's from New Zealand. It's available from some companies here. And this is a persimmon. People are consuming persimmon. And Turkish is a gift of God for Americans. For example, here Thanksgiving, November 24th, and the persimmon comes in November, and it prevents the entry of cholesterol in your body. Cholesterol in your body. So you can eat more turkey. You bring students and train them. So because first these students, especially African American, they refused to eat. Only one student came forward after company. But he said, they started eating. So that is one area we have to encourage our children to eat something. Don't, if they say no, sit there and eat it. You will not go to sleep today. Something like that. We have to tell, we have to be strict. We brought them to his work. We don't want them to see whatever they like. So they train them.
Chicken, no?
Yes. So I don't want to go further. This is the only thing I just want to show you. The rest I have presented here at 3 o'clock. My panel, so that this is the vitamin C. You can see the vitamin. You can see the graph. Oh, I don't know what happened to the graph. It's not coming. Yeah. Okay. Now let me get out from here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Panicker.
Yeah.